Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Ma'am, today my sister will be not. She will be joining after some time because she is attending her annual day meeting.
Okay, okay. Happy Wednesday.
Most exit routes are randomly the direction of the victim. So I think once you have that kind of strategy which come up with the likely.
Namaskar, sir.
Good evening, ma'am. Only one participant is here. Lovely.
Good evening, Avroji.
Good evening, my sir.
There are, I think, two, Khushi and Lovely are there.
Yes, only two candidates are there today.
Yeah.
I
But
think
they will join on their own.
okay, sir. So good evening. Today is Women's Day today. So the topic for today is the women
International Women's Day.
empowerment. है ना? In ancient
And
India
ma'am,
as
I
well.
want to wish you and Rita ma'am. You and Rita ma'am are very happy Women's Day.
Thank you,
So
Bhavesh.
sweet. Thank you. So sweet.
Little angel.
Thank you.
Happy Women's Day.
Thank you, sir. So in our society, there are two genders, male and female. And we are speaking about women who are the center point of a family in our social structure and who bears the responsibility of child, looking after the child and running the household responsibilities. So in olden times too, women were having the same responsibility. But nowadays, a term we are listening more and more about is women empowerment.
Yes, ma'am. In our area also there is MCD elections. So, in on this time the women are standing for the elections.
As a candidate, they are fighting. They are in the election field.
Yes, ma'am.
That's good. But today's discussion is: do you think this term women empowerment is necessary?
Ma'am, I think that it is necessary.
Necessary, then give your opinion in support of this. Because earlier in ancient India, women were the center point of family. They were having the same responsibility. And at that time too, we have known so many famous women personalities, Gargi, Maitreyi. And in medieval age, Noorjahan, Chand Bibi, Razia Sultan. Yes, Devaji sir, you were saying something?
Yes, I was just pointing out that when we try to figure out what was the exact condition of women in distant past, medieval or ancient, we have to take care that we don't go by just the religious texts and
Yes, sir.
stories that we have been told. We have to look at some more reliable historical sources, like, for example, travelers' accounts
Yes, sir.
or life histories. We shall not look at what Ramayana tells us or what even Mahabharata tells us. These have part fiction and part factual content. Uh, on for to get a better picture, we can look at what Megasthenes, who is a traveler from Greece, he came to India, and what did he write?
In
Or
Indica.
yeah, Indica. Or we could look at some life histories. Life histories tell us a lot. For example, I'll tell you that Buddha did not allow women initially into the sangha that he had built for spiritual salvation. So
Hmm.
it seems even Buddha was uh, prejudiced against giving equal status and rights to women. This seems to be a factual story. Uh, Similarly, if we have got some accounts of village life, then we will really know how were rural women faring in ancient times. In Akbarnama, written by Abul Fazl, there are some instances, and the worst thing that we come across is that during battles and wars, women were kidnapped. They were even enslaved and sold in slave markets. So it was not all good even earlier.
So in the wars, the women were kidnapped because the kings was thinking that if we kidnap their women, then the king that they will give their land or so to just
It
give
was
them.
a way of humiliating the
So
adversary.
nowadays, also in Andaman Nicobar Island, there are people who don't want to talk to other as they think that they will take their girl's child and women and they will sold them.
No, fears are different, but in today's battles, for example, the war is happening in Ukraine, but even Russians who are actually being very cruel in killing families, civilians, they are bombarding their flats, homes, etc. But they are not kidnapping women. That practice has fortunately gone down. So every time has some plus, some minus. Uh, One more thing I wanted to point out is that women empowerment is very important, especially for poor women, both rural and urban. Uh, from our class, middle class, and upper class women don't face so much adversity because very good laws have been passed. But the reach of these laws and the implementation of these laws in poor colonies and villages is not there. So women are just one example. Most rural women have to fetch water from long distances. They don't have control on family planning, so they have too many children. They keep making meals for them the whole day. They don't have cooking gas sometimes, although now it has improved. But otherwise, they would fall sick because they use mud chulas in which wood is to be burnt. So all these problems, in especially rural women, and similarly slum women, they come as maids, they work in our houses, and they have to first cook in their own homes, then they help us, and they don't really get good payment, and sometimes their husbands are drunkards, and receive beating also, and very often they are deserted, you understand
Yes, sir.
what is the meaning of deserted?
Left, isolated.
Yeah, left. Yeah, abandoned or left. So I hope Khushi, you all also note this term, deserted, छोड़ के चले जाना. ये गरीब लोगों में बहुत होता है. Because males also don't have any property, they just get bored with a woman, they leave her. And the women, because of their love and affection for children, they are left alone bringing them up. A woman rarely leaves her children. A man just walks away. These are harsh realities of especially poor class women. Okay. So empowerment is definitely needed, but we shall avoid one or two distortions that can come in the name of empowerment. You have already mentioned, Afrozji mentioned some distortion. We need balance. I would just like to add one more terrible distortion that is happening in the West now, that women, because of this, let's say, distorted understanding of empowerment, are not bearing children at all. Their population is dropping. Their deaths are more than birth rate. And many countries population is in fact declining now because women are not ready to even take the pain, bear the pain of childbearing. This is selfishness. I think this kind of empowerment is wrong. We need to look at society's well-being also and not be too selfish in the name of empowerment.
Yes, sir. I think there should be a
I
balance.
think in Afrozji, you are Muslim.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I think in Islam it is very different. Women and maybe that is to the other extreme, that women are forced to bear many children and they don't have a say or control over reproduction. That is the other extreme perhaps sometimes. But at least this problem is not there, that women become so selfish that they don't want to have children.
Sir, in our religion, it has never been mentioned that you should bear a child if you can't make her or him or her a responsible citizen. If you can't bear the responsibility of being a good parent, then you have no right to give birth to a child and leave her without being uneducated. आप किसकी परवरिश अच्छे से कर सकते हो तब तो आपको अधिकार है. Teachers have mentioned it in different way.
But I heard that contraceptives are not allowed in Islam. Is that true?
Yes, it is not allowed, sir.
So that leads to multiple large families and excessive burden on women, no?
But nowadays, as far as literacy is going on, high rate of literacy, it is being controlled. In educated family, you see only 1 or 2 kids.
And best thing is that child marriage should not be allowed. If women marry after becoming mature, then this problem is not there in any case.
My main point for focusing on this topic was that women are the more powerful in believing in rituals. They know more about the rituals, and there you will rarely see men interference. What we are doing, जो हमारे homely customs हैं, women know more about it. So if they are opposing the child marriage, but in the women family, women are even supporting the child marriages, then the scenario got worse.
Yes.
If they raise their voice against the system, it will change.
So we had a very nice discussion today. Sorry, you want to say something, Afrozi?
A man is respecting a woman, sir. It is in his upbringing what his mother has told him. If she is giving her the wrong lesson, then it will be seen in his behavior.
Yes.
He is different from daughters and he is different from men.
So this is a very good point Afrozji has brought up, that this gender issue shall not be seen as a war between men and women. Some of the oppression that women face comes from women only.
Yes, sir.
And many of the reformers who fought for women's rights were men actually, they were not women. So it is not a war between men and women, but yes, due to our old customs, some empowerment needs to be done, and best way, we are fortunate in our country, our constitution and laws are very good, but what is lacking is good implementation of these laws, especially in poor colonies. And for that, education is very important, and that's why we are very grateful that Afrozji picked up this topic today on a very opportune day, that is International Women's Day. Do you know why we celebrate International Women's Day today?
No, sir. Honestly, I don't.
Okay, I'll tell you. On this day, in New York, in 1848, the first International Women's Conference was held, and there was some strike of women working in the textile mills. I could be a little wrong on that. There was some strike, and
So the strike was toward the gender equality while.
So since then, International Women's Day is being celebrated on this day in March every year.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so good night, everybody. We had a very nice learning today.
Good night, sir.
I
Thank you,
request
sir.
Rita, Afrozji, and also Sanjay, please try to get more students. They can also take benefit, because a little more strength of our classes can be easily increased.
Devesh, Afroz ma'am can help us because my students are Hindi medium. They just come, and 12 students were there earlier. Now they are not coming. Afroz, your
Yes.
is English medium, na? Your students are. So
Yes,
you
ma'am.
you can ask them, because my students, I think it's not of their level. So they come
Please
and they
give
go.
Deepanshu's number to them if anyone wants to join.
Okay, sir.
He is there in the
Afroz,
teachers group.
Yes, sir. I have asked them that they are interested, but as their boards exam are quite around the corner,
Okay.
so they are busy.
Afroz,
So
ninth class student can join. Ninth.
Okay, ma'am, ninth I'm not taking na. Bhavna ma'am is taking class 9.
We'll have some idea.
So
We'll go
just
and
tell
we'll
them,
discuss.
don't repeat, don't say second time to anybody, but please inform everyone if there is any occasion, you can tell them. And there is a very easy way. They can take the Panshu's number, and they will be added to the group. They will start getting the link every day. There is no compulsion. If they want to join, they can join. And all the students also, Nandini, Lovely, Khushi, I request you also to spread the word. Don't plead before anybody, just inform them this opportunity is there. If somebody wants to benefit, they can give their phone number to you. Then we will add them in the link. Okay, good night, everybody.
Good night.
Thank you, Abrozji, for a very lively and very useful discussion.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Good night.